Well, hello everyone. I'm so thrilled to be able to have Marsia Alexander-Clarke here in the space of our exhibition with us today. Marsia, thank you so much for all of your tremendous work on this exhibition. I'm so pleased after everything that we've been able to realize it, and I know our docents are going to love hearing from you about it. So I'm going to let you take it from here. Marsia is going to tell you about her video works and her prints, and then the video in the installation as well. So.
Thank you very much, Cassandra. Thank you so much for letting me have this exhibit. It's such an honor to be able to exhibit my work here. And my piece here is almost all video except for 3 prints. And my installation is called Ojos profundos, which is called, translated as profound eyes, which to me means looking deeply into below the surface of things. This piece is called Sonidos, and it's a 5-channel composition. I have, in a way, invented my own way of working. I was influenced by minimalism, and in particular the little marks that were repeated so many times in the work of Agnes Martin. I felt that I might be able to do that with video, and I think I have accomplished that. This work begins with each monitor has one mark that then is repeated in various ways, and they come into clusters, and those clusters almost transform the individual marks. And here we see the individual marks on each monitor, which will then be repeated and bunched up into a variety of clusters and eventually become a full screen. And here you see the transformation of each of the individual marks. My work comes out of the artwork of the 60s, and at that time it was felt that artists should not be working with personal subject. Most of the artwork at that time was conceptual, minimal, or pop art. It was a boys' club. Life was just not an acceptable thing at that time. There has been quite a change since that time. So my work is mainly art about art.
A little bit about what the imagery is, that it's and where it comes from?
Oh yeah. This is now the full screen with the various marks repeated in a variety of ways. When I started working with video, I wanted to even though I was cropping the recorded image so much to make these marks, I wanted to be true to the video format as a recording instrument. So the marks themselves are geometrical and yet have a lot of nature enclosed in each of the little tiny marks.
Wasn't it shot at a specific garden?
Yes, this was recorded at the LA Arboretum, a place where I go and walk almost every day, and I love that place very much. And so the marks are recordings of nature recorded in the LA Arboretum.
So Marsia, I'm curious, just for you to answer the question about how you started making prints in general in your practice. And what was it that that gave you the impulse to make the static image of these prints when so much of your work is about the moving image?
Right, yeah. I love the static images. They help you see the details more, and they kind of surprise you in a way because they're still, and they're usually seen in such a fleeting moment. So I enjoy the prints quite a bit.
Extending time.
Yes, extending the time of them, that's right. So these are 3 of my prints. I have many more, of course, but these are some of the most beautiful ones. The composition is very important to me, and the way they fill the rectangle in a pleasant way, and the colors, of course, are strong. Sometimes if you go very, very close into the marks, you can see a lot more of the detail, which I do on some of the prints also. So they hold organic image very nicely.
In a way, I've been thinking too that the prints serve as a nice kind of bridge between this piece and then the other 2 pieces here. I feel like, I don't know, there's almost like a tone of the prints that is kind of speaking to both pieces in an interesting way.
Yeah. Behind the curtain here is my 2 projections, the video installation. On the one side is Horas de la Noche, Hours of the Night. It's a choral piece composed with a choir singing phrases that I have excerpted from Pablo Neruda's early poems, his early love poems. I have been working with the choir for quite a few years, and I then recently commissioned Anna and Cheta to compose a few songs, she composed about 4 or 5 short songs with the phrases from Pablo Neruda. I reconstruct these pieces with the choir. I had done a very successful choral piece with them in the early 2000s. When I had the chance now again, I was glad to be able to compose this piece. The words of these songs are Ojos profundos, profound eyes. En la noche las raíces crecen desde tu alma. In the night, roots grow from your soul. Sed eterna, eternal thirst. The rhythm and choice of the words felt very significant to me in reading his poems, Neruda's poems, that they felt very much a part of my childhood in Chile, the way phrases are put together. So I related to them deeply in that way. They're also very existential in a way, which a lot of my work is based on. So this is the choral piece, Horas de la Noche, and I have also cropped the faces of the singers. What I do is pan across their singing faces as they sing, and this way I get the movement. And I've cropped them smaller, like my video marks, and repeated them over and over again. This work is influenced by minimalism, again, the mark and the repetition, also by Steve Reich's music, and also in the 80s and 70s and 80s, there were a lot of performances where multiple voices of people would perform and speak the same words at the same time, so that you would get just a gist of what they were saying. They became sound pieces. The choral work, of course, also is, in a way, mimics the minimal perspective because of the multiple voices singing the same song. So there is a correlation there. I have two projections in this room. The one with the choral piece, and this one over here is Ojos profundos. Okay, what I'm doing in this room is having just a still on one side while the other one is functioning. The choral piece is functioning right now, so this abstract work is on a still. So a person watching both pieces will have to turn around to see the other piece. Ojos profundos. It's a completely abstract work. Some of the sounds of the choir are heard with it, as well as some other sounds. Most of my work is abstract, and this is a good representation of it. What I do is take one or two or maybe three or four marks and create a composition in time. When I create the marks, they often surprise me. They have a personality, haunting or playful. They are like phrases of a visual language. As the composition develops, they are suggestive of a visual story. I call these works non-narrative narratives. The composition, as it develops in time, is carefully considered. The placement of the marks in the space of the screen, their relationship, their duration, the in and out points when they appear and vanish. These compositions often begin with full screen marks, which are later repeated in reduced form, filling the screen with smaller forms. They create a little story in themselves, open to the imagination of the viewer.